Hi, it's Annalise Dostie here for the fourth discussion for our class. Let's start with informal assessments to check for understanding. There's lots of different avenues to go about this. My personal favorite is using whiteboards, and each student has their own writing utensil, dry erase marker. And I do my best to instruct them to not show their neighbors the answers. So they write the answer and then put it face down, and I do some kind of gesture or a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 or 1, 2, 3 show me thing, and then they turn their boards around and I can see who has the right answer and who was off by a lot or by a little and who's struggling. And sometimes if I get 3 answers in a row that are not correct, then I'll go send them into like a breakout group with one of my aides in the back for extra help. Then there's also peer-to-peer evaluation, where something like Think, Pair, Share, have them do independent work and then they share it with a neighbor and then they share it out loud with the classroom. We can also use colored cards to hold up, like each color is designated to represent where they feel like they are in learning the concept. Like green could be like, I'm great, I'm good for independent work. Yellow could be, I just need a little bit of help or a couple of pointers and then I would be good. Like maybe that they can go in a small group with one aide, and then we could have red, like I totally don't get this, I need help, someone stop and help me. And I could take that group or send them into another group. You could add other colors too, but just green, yellow, red is pretty straightforward. You can do the temperature check with your thumb, up, side to the, or down. You can use one of the strategies that was in one of the videos, she called it cold call, where she has every student's name on a card and she pulls out one student's name, calls on them, and then the next student. And throughout, maybe an hour session, she gets to call on each student at least once. And that's different than having them just raise their hand and calling on them, because you never know if you'll accidentally repeat a student, or if a student doesn't put their hand up, they'll never get a chance to give you, some feedback or, kind of some insight on where they are on the concept. As far as formal, sorry, my throat is being silly today. As far as formal assessments, one that I just learned about today and actually used on one of my students to prepare for an IEP was the Woodcock-Johnson 4. This tests intelligence, IQ, and cognitive abilities. And it kind of gets harder and harder as you go. It starts with like letter formation and then simple spelling words and then harder spelling words. Same thing for, what was it, like problem solving, that's what they called it. There was 6 parts to the test? No, maybe more than that. Golly, it was long and we're not even done yet. I think maybe it was 8 parts to the test. A very, what do I want to say, detailed test. Let's see. There's BASC, the Behavioral Assessment System for Children. I also am using that for my kiddos because we have our IEP kind of set as their BIP. We have a BIP that we use connected to their IEP, I should say, their behavioral intervention plan. And the way we do grading at our non-public school is not necessarily academic based. It's more based on their IEP goals, because we're, a step down from public school and they're trying to get back into general ed or on a public school site where, maybe they have what's the word? Oh my goodness. A classroom just with kiddos like them. My brain. Man, Fridays are hard. So, for my brain. So, the BASC 2, Behavioral Assessment System for Children, which I just described, is for organization, planning, attention, and working memory. Then there's the WIAT, the Wechsler Individual Achievement Formal Assessment, and this assesses the ability for decoding, comprehension, and fluency for the target language. And then there's DIBELS, which I've also used just once. That's the reading comprehension and fluency. It assesses word count per minute, WCP, and you have to record their reading errors, and then you subtract that, and then you do the math to figure out their fluency percentage, like their reading rate. Those were the one more. And then we have the TWW, the total words written, CBM. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that I mentioned. Three of them I have personally used, and the other ones I'm looking into possibly using. The formal assessments are used to collect data not only for addressing academic goals but behavioral goals as well in preparation for IEPs. There's also a lot of collaboration with the psychologists around these formal assessments, and it also helps prepare them for the IEPs and compare and contrast it to the data that they have collected, either from their own formal assessments for their goals, and just seeing if there's some consistency there or inconsistencies to address. My aha moments are just, I need to learn these formal assessments and learn how to facilitate them and learn how to collect that data and make, light of the information and be able to apply it to the present levels versus the goals, and the benchmarks and the things that we're looking at for the kiddo to accomplish. And then I also enjoyed learning more about the informal assessments, such as cold call and being able to use colored cards instead of just the finger or thumb thing. I feel like maybe this is pretty discreet, but like I have junior hires, they like to be very discreet. They don't want anyone to know what they're thinking, or they don't want their peer to make fun of them if they don't understand, or just all those things. So it could be neat to try to use the colored cards in a discreet way, because our desks are hollow. I can see through them, so maybe they can kind of like show the color through the desk, and like their peer neighbors cannot see them. I'm gonna try that out. Other than that, that's all I have. Oh, my other aha was fist to 5 to pair up in small groups. I thought that was really neat. That was a new one that I had not heard or seen, and I do want to try to implement that one as well. The first to 5 was the fist means I don't know anything. One was like, I kind of getting this, but I need a lot of help. And it went all the way to like 5. Oh, I'm an expert at this. I got this. Let me help another student who is like a 0 or a 1. And they were pairing them up. Or the teacher was pairing them up, like 1 or 2 students that had a fist or a 1, like on the lower end. She would pair them with a student like at a 4 or 5 and have some peer evaluation, peer support, peer help. And then you can either do like one-on-one or a group of 3 or a group of 4. If the groups get really big, you can have an aide or an assistant help. But that was one of my ahas as well. Well, thanks for listening about my assessments. Have a good one.